Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Myself Janisha from St. Joseph Composite PU College, Vijaypur. In the previous episode, we have discussed about the multiplier mechanisms, consumption functions, investment functions, supply side of macroeconomic equilibrium. So those things we'll discuss in the previous episode. Today, in this episode, we are going to discuss about a new concept, that is paradox of thrift. Then we'll start this concept. So before going to this discussion, we'll see what is paradox of thrift. Paradox of thrift is said to be a situation where people tend to save more money, and this form of increased saving leads to reduced consumption, and as a result there is a decrease in aggregate consumption. That means paradox of thrift means what? Less expenditure. Yes, thrift. So what is this paradox of thrift? Paradox of thrift is said to be one of the situation where people tend to save more money. So saving more money means expenditure less. Yes, so people tend to save more money, and this form of increased saving. So that what increased saving that leads to reduced consumption expenditure or reduced consumption. And as a result there is decrease in aggregate consumption. So that means what? While doing the savings, while the people saving the money, so it will reduce the aggregate consumption or aggregate expenditure, consumption expenditure to the economy. How? Take for example, if I want to save my income 5,000, so in my mind what? Saving is what? 5,000. Now, is it I am ready to spend more money? No. Why? Because my intention is what? That is to saving. So 5,000 is saving. So saving for me. So in my pocket money will be saved. But what about aggregate consumption? What about aggregate expenditure in the economy? So when I was thinking like to save money, so automatically and reduce to what? Buying the goods and services in the market. So this situation is what? Paradox of thrift. So simply we can say that paradox of thrift, so a person having the mindset of a saving, but he saves money by what? Less expenditure. So as a result, what? Aggregate demand or aggregate consumption expenditure, it will decreases. So this is what? Paradox of thrift. Such system of savings will lead to decrease in levels of employment and reduce the total savings of the economy and slows down growth of the economy. Why? Because happen here? Because what? We want to save money. So saving money means what? Less expenditure. Right? The 5,000 rupees income means in that 5,000 also saving means what? No single rupee also be spent. Yes? So that is what in such a system of saving, it will lead to decrease in level of employment. So such type of savings, it will impact. What is the impact of such savings? That is decrease the level of employment, reduce the total savings of the economy, and also slow down the growth of the economy. So this is one of the central component of Keynesian economics. One of the famous economists, J.M. Keynes. So his central component of Keynesian economics, that is what? Paradox of thrift. So remember, so paradox of thrift, it is one of the situation what? The mindset of people saving. So in order to saving, what they reduce, what they cut? Expenditure. As a result, what happened in economy? That is, in economy, full employment level decreases, total consumption level decreases, and finally it will what? Leads to slow growth of economy. If all the people of the economy increase the proportion of income they save, the total values of savings in the economy will not increase and it will either decline or remain unchanged. So this result is known as paradox of thrift. So we can write like this also. Then how to define paradox of thrift? That means if all the people of the economy, see, if all the people of the economy increase the proportion of income, so everybody thinks like what? Saving. So everybody, what in everybody's mindset what? Saving. Okay, so instead of 1 person, 10% also decided to saving means entire income. So 10 people also, instead of 10, again 100 people, 500 people, like that 1000 people, if they all decided to save money, okay, decided to save the proportion of their income, okay, then what happened? So in their pocket or in their saving will be increases. But what about aggregate economy? So that income, so it will what? Increase their savings, okay, but the total values of savings in the economy, okay, so total values of the savings in the economy will not increase, or it will either decline or it will be remain unchanged. If I spend money from my income, okay, for the purchasing any other goods, okay, now this is what? Income to the economy also. Why? Because in the market I purchase goods and services, means, so that is benefit to the economy. Okay, but in my mindset, what? Want to saving. So saving means what? I will not spend a single rupee also. Now, is it benefit to the economy? No. So like that so many people decided like that only. Okay, so proportion of income, saving. Okay, all the income they want to save. Then how come about the economy? Yes, so saving, personal saving or individual savings will be increases, but not in the what? Aggregate economy, but the total savings of the economy, not individual. Economy's income that will not increases, means it will either unchanged or it is a decline. So this is called as paradox of thrift. Paradox of thrift states that as people become thriftier, they end up saving less or same as before. That means this thrift means paradox of thrift. It also states that people become thriftier. Thriftier means what? If they are become less expenditure. Okay, if they are made less expenditure, it either end up saving less or same as before. Means either it is remain constant, unchanged. And this result, though sounds apparently impossible and is actually a simple application of the model we have learnt. So that this is what? Sound apparently impossible. So that in the economy, so this situation is not accepted, because what? Individual spending, okay, individual spending nature, that will increase the total what? Savings, means economy is a savings. Example here, suppose initial equilibrium that is equal to 250. Okay, initial equilibrium that is equal to 250. Suddenly, marginal propensity to save, as you know that marginal propensity to save means you know that, right? Suddenly, MPS increases and as a result, MPC decreases. See, marginal propensity to save, okay, additional savings will be increases than the what? Consumption, means than the expenditure. That is from 0.8 to 0.5. Just example. That means what here? Savings increases up to 0.8. Okay. But marginal propensity to consume means expenditure, that will be decreases up to 0.5. Okay. At the initial income level, AD is equal to, means aggregate demand is equal to Y1 is equal to 250. Means income is what? Initial income is what? 250. This sudden decline of marginal propensity to consume, means sudden decline of MPC means what? Expenditure. Sudden decline of expenditure will result in decrease in the consumption spending. See here, consumption will be decreases means what? Consumption spending decreases, expenditure will be decreases, and hence the aggregate demand, that is also by the amount. How to write? So 0.8 minus 0.5 into 250, then we can got 75. So 75 is what? Now this is equilibrium. This is what equilibrium is. Here the capacity of income, that is equal to only 75. This reduction is regarded as an autonomous reduction in consumption expenditure to the extent of change is MPC. That means this reduction, what reduction? Expenditure is reduced, right? So this reduction is regarded as autonomous reduction. Autonomous reduction means what? Independent reduction, without depending on income or without depending on savings. So this autonomous reduction in consumption expenditure to the extent of a change in a marginal propensity to consume. So suddenly what? Autonomous reduction in expenditure, as a result MPC also changes, right? Now second situation, the aggregate demand decreases by 75. So aggregate demand from 250 to it decreases up to 75. Yes, 250 from, so that is decreases up to 75, and it falls short of the output, that is equal to 250, and emerges an excess supply is equal to 75 in the economy. See here, supply will be increases. Okay, supply will be increases, but what about the expenditure? That is means 252, it is decreases up to 75. So excess supply, that is equal to 75. Okay, that means demand only 75. Okay, from 250, so now the demand only will be 75. So here excess supply will be equals, or so excess supply will be increases. That means supply is more, production is more, but expenditure or the consumption will be less. Okay, demand is less. Okay, supply is more, demand is less. Saving is more, but the consumption expenditure is less. So this situation will be created. Okay, so that is what we can say, that from 250 to it reduced to 75 means you just recognize it. And also stocks are piling up in warehouses, and producers will decide to cut the value of production by 75 in the next round of production to restore the equilibrium in the market. Now the stocks are piling up, because why? Piling up means what? Because stocks are fill up in the warehouses. Why? Because nobody want to buy goods and services. Nobody demanded. Yes, the people are not ready to buying the goods because to reason saving. Now what happened? The stocks are filling up in the warehouses, and producers, they also still and the producers also decide to cut the value of production, that is by up to 75. Okay, at the beginning they produced 250. Okay, 250 quantity of production. Now they decided to cut the volume of production. Now they decided to only 75 units of output they are decided to produce in the next round of production, and it is restore the equilibrium in the market. Okay, why this happen? From 250 to it reduces to 75. Why? Because there is no demand, no expenditure, nobody can ready to buy the goods and services. Yes, for this situation we can say that from 250 to it reduced to 75. So this 75 is what? Only output produced by the what? Producers, and that would result in a reduction of factor payments in the next round. Then what about in the next round? So in the next round, as a result, means a result in the production. Okay, resulting in the reduction in the production. So as a result, it will leads to what? Effect on the factor payments, and that is reduction of income by 75. So factor it affect on the factor payment also, and is also effect on income by 75. And this time the consumption decreases by 0.5 into 75, and hence the aggregate demand, and again excess supply arises, thus it goes into till infinity. That means here income will be equal to only 75. Okay, and again it is decreases here. So total income of the economy will be decreases, aggregate demand will be decreases. As a result, again supply will be increases. So excess supply, demand less. So this will be goes on infinity. So this situation will be goes on infinity level. Thus the total reduction of output is, now it is 75 divided by 1 minus 0.5 is equal to 150. Okay, that means from 250 minus 150. That means the new equilibrium output of the economy will be created. That is equal to 100. So new equilibrium will be created, that is equal to 100. At the beginning it is initial equilibrium 250 and reduced up to 75. Now it is 100. Okay, so that people are now saving S2 is equal to Y2 minus C2 is equal to Y2 minus C plus C2 into Y2. That means this is what the formula. According to this, Y2 means what? New equilibrium. Yes, how much? 100. Yes, minus. See here, Y2 100 minus C plus C2 into Y2. So here 100 minus 40 plus 0.5 into 100 is equal to, then we got the answer 10. That means Y2 is the income and S2 is the new saving, C2 is the consumption expenditure, and C is autonomous consumption expenditure, and C2 small letter is new marginal propensity to consume, and Y2 is a new income. That means it will rotate like one by one, chain system. Okay, at the beginning 250 initial equilibrium and it will be decreased up to 75, then again supply more, okay, and it is effect on the aggregate demand. So and same as it is goes on, again it will decrease up to 150. Okay, and our new equilibrium will be created, that is up to 100, and we can substitute the values and we finally got that 10. 10 is what? Now 10 output means the production of unit or output will be reaches to 10. Okay, 250, 75, now it is 10. And before, when Y1 was equal to 250, then S1 was equal to 10, and when MPC was 0.8 into 250 minus 40 plus 0.8 into 250, and that is equal to 10. Therefore, total savings in the economy remain unchanged. So here what total savings in the economy, what? 10. Previous one we observed that. Yes, 10 is what? Total savings. So whatever may be what the consumption expenditure, the people are saving more and more, less expenditure. So the total expenditure of the economy will be remain unchanged, that is up to 10. So this situation is what? Paradox of a thrift. In this episode also some exercise questions there. Please solve those exercise questions.